Overview of the drips and splatter pack. I thought I'd make a quick video just to show all this stuff in here since there's quite a lot and it's kind of hard to show in the few preview images. Once you download and unzip the file, you'll see three folders. The brushes, which just has the two different brushes for Photoshop, the drips and splatters. The drips, which has the 15 high-resolution JPEG images, and the splatters, which has 72 high-resolution JPEG splatters. As a point of reference, these are all 300 dpi. They vary in size, anywhere from 5 inches by 5 inches to 15, 20 inches plus. It really depends on what you're looking at. Let's just hop into Photoshop quick and we can kind of test some stuff out. So I'll open up a new document. 2500 pixels by 2500 pixels at 300. By the way, all the brushes are 2500 pixels on their longest side, or like 2400 and a little bit. So let's just hop right in here, test out the brushes first. I've already got them loaded. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to load or install Photoshop brushes if you don't know how to do that. But I'll just assume at this point you do know how. So here are the drips. I'll just start randomly popping these in. Pick a few different colors. Actually, make a new layer so I can adjust them later on if I want to. I have quite a few different looking brushes, so you can kind of pick whatever you think suits the project best. And if you want, you can also just dupe the layer, and that way you'll get a little bit darker. Like if I were to zoom in here, you can see there's quite a bit of texture on these. Personally, I like that, but if you don't, just dupe them and it takes a lot of that away, and you can keep on duping them until they're basically completely solid. So let's hop into some of the drips here. I'm just going to delete these and fill this back in white. Make a new layer. But they're pretty fun to play around with. A lot of different looks in here. A lot of different things to choose from. And they're all really big. So if I zoom in here, you can kind of see the texture that remains. This is at 100%. Zoom back out and I'll just do a few different ones. And if you like overlapping stuff, just change the colors and you get some really nice nice stuff going on. Assuming the colors work well together, which these may not, since this is all completely random here. But this should give you a pretty good idea of what you're working with here. But this should be good enough to kind of get the point across, and if you don't have the colors, make it work how you want. But let's just jump right into the actual JPEG files, and the JPEG files are by far the largest. So if you're looking for really high quality, that's the way to go since the brushes are limited to 2500 pixels. First, let's just take up, hop right in here and take a random section of splatters, see if I can crash Photoshop. And I try to leave quite a bit of texture in all these. If you want, you can just hit Control L or Command L on a Mac, bring up levels, and you can kind of adjust them how you see fit. If you want them really harsh, you can certainly make them that way. And they'll hold up just fine. Let's just kind of page through these so you can get a quick idea of what these look like, and I'll zoom in a little bit. This is at 33% right now, so if we get into 100, you can see there's a lot of texture going on. Let's just bring up image size. You can kind of get an idea what some of these are. This is one of the smaller ones at 4 by 5.5 inches. Check out this guy. This is 3 inches by 14 inches. 6.5 by almost 20.5 inches. This is a cool one. This is 7.3 by 17.2. So as you can see, these should be big enough for almost anything you'll want to throw them at. That should give a pretty good idea of what the drips look like, and it's actually quicker for me to close Photoshop than to close all these windows. So I'm just going to close it, pop it back open here. Open up the drips. Let's just take a few of these and kind of drag them in so you can get a look at them a bit larger as well. Since the preview images are usually pretty small, this will give a bit better idea. I try to give them a little bit of different tones too, so you can kind of get out of them what you want. This is at 100% right here, so you can see there's a lot of texture going on. And once again, if you want, just pop back and open up levels. You can make them really harsh, make them fit whatever the project is you're working on. Let's just pop the size open. So this is 7 by 18.5. This one is 14.2 by 15.4. Should be good to go on almost anything you want to throw at it. So that should cover almost everything there. I'm just going to go over quick now how to install Photoshop brushes in case you have not done so before and you kind of want to learn how. I'll open up Photoshop again quick, and I have to just navigate really fast here to my Photoshop directory. I'm on Windows 8, so if you're not used to Windows 8, this might look very strange to you. But you just want to go in your program files, or if you're on a Mac, it'll be called Applications. And once you're inside your program files, for me the drive is E. If you're on a PC, your drive is probably C, or as I said, a Mac is Applications. Just go over here and select Photoshop CS6, or whatever your version happens to be. Then hop into Presets, and then Brushes. And that's where you're going to want to take the two brush files, just select them, and drag them right over here, or copy and paste them over to your Brushes folder. I made a subfolder called Drips and Splats since I already had a handful of brushes in here, so I could select them easier when I go into Photoshop. But all you gotta do is really drag and drop, or copy paste. So then you go back into Photoshop, hit B to select brushes, or just select brushes on your tool panel, and then click the drop down here, and then go over to the cog, the gear cog, click that, then you want to go to load brushes. And from there, this is actually a subfolder. You're going to want to navigate to whatever your install drive is, whether it's applications on a Mac or your C or D or E drive on a PC. Go back into Program Files, Photoshop, Presets, Brushes, and then I made this subfolder to make it easy to spot where they are, but for me it's Drips and Splat subfolder. And then I would just select both, or one at a time, select Drips, and then load it. And then do this all over again and select Splatter and load it. The good thing is once you load a brush from a location, it should remember where that location was. I already have these loaded, so I won't go through and do that again. Alternatively, you can go to Edit and then Presets and Preset Manager, and then just make sure Brushes is selected out of this drop-down menu here. And this way you can kind of easily manage all your brushes. For me, all the drips and splatters are right here, so this is the whole pack of brushes. But you can actually load from here as well. Or if you want to export sets, you just click Save Set and it'll remember what you've selected. So if you want to make like custom brush cool pack, you could do that, save it, and there you'd have it. Photoshop will remember it from then on out. But hopefully this was helpful. If you like the video, hit like and make a comment on the page if you like it. The link to download the actual pack will be in the description of the YouTube video. So thanks for checking it out.